Well, so long 2020. You really did teach us so much. Now we've got to look ahead to 2021 and some optimism because we've got this. But let's look back on how you can tell your 2020 story. Well, you can start off by thinking, what did you learn from 2020? Most businesses experienced some sort of crisis. What was yours? What was the worst moment of your year? Describe how it felt emotionally in 2 or 3 words, and then think what happened to make this moment feel so bad. Next, you can think about the recovery. How did you survive the crisis? Don't forget to tell us what you risked, because when you tell us what you're risking, you've got a stake in the story, and so have we. And also, what did you lose? Many people lost things they loved, or even people they loved, as a result of this crisis. And then you can talk about the lessons you've learned. What have you learned about how you work? What have you learned about why you work? What's the moral of your 2020 story? Then you can look ahead to renewal. How do you feel when you look ahead to 2021? How have you adapted to the new normal, this potential world of the post-vaccine, post-COVID world? What will you change in 2021? So that's one way to look at your story. There's another way, which is to think of your story as a story arc. And this story arc goes like a roller coaster. It goes from your comfort zone into the crisis and then into renewal. And just like a roller coaster, it's kind of emotional. So you'd think, well, if someone said, how are you feeling? In your comfort zone, you say, fine, thanks. And then things start to go wrong and it's, into, oh, shit. But then the renewal starts with, right, let's do something differently, let's do something new, until finally you get to the more confident stage of, okay, we've got this. So this story arc can help you think about parts of this 2020 story. You're talking about your comfort zone. There's something wrong. What was wrong in your pre-COVID world? What potential was going to waste in your comfort zone? Because comfort zone is not the right place to be. And then think about the crisis as something which strips away the unnecessary. So, what non-essentials did this crisis strip away from your business? And also, what treasure did you find in the dark? Down there in the bottom of the crisis, you found something worthwhile, something new, something worth working on. And that process of recovery is not easy. So what was hard about the recovery? What potential are you now fully using that you weren't using when you were in your comfort zone? So again, this is a story that's emotional, but it's also about potential, about looking into the future. So if you do these 2 exercises, you'll have 2 versions of a story about 2020. And then you can think, okay, I need to tell this story, I need to structure it. So I'm going to give you 3 T's that will help you tell your 2020 story. The first and simplest is the timeline. Just give people the before and after story. So you can probably tell your 2020 story in 60 seconds. You can get a bit more clever and talk about the turning points of your story. So when you say, we used to, or suddenly, or thankfully, all of these words are signalling that change is coming. Turning point on that roller coaster is coming. And when you use those kind of phrases, it fixes our attention on your story because we know a change is about to come. And we'll keep listening because we might learn from your change. Or finally, you can really go for the tension in the story. And in this version of the story, you start in the crisis. And then you show us how bad the crisis was. And then you answer the question, how did I get here? And then you answer the question, how did I survive? How did I get out? And that's the kind of the maximum drama version of the story. But you need more than just 60 seconds to tell that one. Anyway, so long 2020. Remember, if you share this post on LinkedIn, everyone who shares the post, I'll put your names in a hat and I'll draw out 3. And you'll each be offered a 1-hour free consultation about your business story.